Half a month later, outside Yongchuan, a voice boomed, "What? You set up a realm? Ascending's already crazy hard since forever. Descending's got to be impossible. This is totally defying the natural order." Folks on the street were buzzing. Yeah, that young dude admitted it himself that day. Totally heard that big shot swatted away 3 forces trying to bully the Taishang Holy Land with just one move. Even smashed the Great Sun Dynasty's Infinity Tower. The crowd burst into laughter and chatter. Taishang Holy Land hit the jackpot. Lost a supreme elder, but snagged a massive sugar daddy. Isn't it all thanks to that mega babe Su Qingga of Taishang Holy Land, though? Someone piped up. Speaking of, remember that disciple named Yichen from Taishang Holy Land? A dude folded his arms and snickered. Don't even bring him up. That little punk thought he could get with the saintess alongside that big shot and got flattened to the ground with one move. Couldn't even twitch. That dude kept going. Toad trying to eat swan meat, huh? Doesn't even know who he is. Eastern Wilderness's top beauty ain't something he can even dream of. He finished, still chuckling away. Little did they know, Yichen was walking by and caught every word. They were all grinning ear to ear, feeling smug. Suddenly, a red glow shot up from right under their feet, and everyone was like, "Huh? What's this?" Someone asked. "What is it?" Yichen, cloaked in black, said softly, "Whoosh." Flames erupted, engulfing those guys. They screamed their heads off in agony. This is fire," a guy screamed from within the flames. Meanwhile, Yichen just calmly walked forward, dusted off his hands, and said, "Taishang Holy Land, Guangji, that day's grudge, I'm going to pay you guys back 100 times over." Meanwhile, everyone was slowly walking towards the Great Hall. A voice echoed from inside. "Taishang Holy Land is at its peak power these days, like the midday sun. Please give us your support in the future." Holy Master Su Taishang raised his hand in goodwill and cheerfully replied, "Oh no. It's us who should be thanking you, Grand Master Jiao." Su Wuji then chimed in, Yes. We really got to thank you for showing mercy that day. That's why we're able to sit here safe and sound today." Zhou Jian sat there stroking his beard, and Xiaohu was just grinning from ear to ear. Then another voice added, "From now on, the 3 of us will see Taishang Holy Land as the big boss. We'll only cooperate. No more being enemies." Su Qingga, who was sitting on the chair, covered her mouth and giggled. Guchanga noticed this and asked, "What's up?" Su Qingga happily replied, "Didn't you hear what they said, young master? These old geezers can flip faces faster than a 3-year-old kid." Guchanga held the hot teacup in his hand and asked, "Really? If you like it, let them keep flattering us for a bit longer." Just then, someone brought a letter and reported, "Young Master, Holy Maiden, the 3rd Prince of the Great Xia Dynasty in Central Continent has sent an invitation inviting you to the Heavenly Pride Dao debate." Guchanga was puzzled and asked, "Great Xia Dynasty?" Su Qingga stepped forward, took the letter, and explained, "It's a royal force in the Central Continent with an unfathomable background. It's said that a powerhouse ascended to the upper realm from there thousands of years ago. And this 3rd prince is born just like that powerhouse from 3,000 years ago with incredible talent." A mental box popped up in Guchanga's mind. He slowly sipped his tea and pondered. Central Continent, huh? The Tushan Dan has a mark left on it showing Yichen is also in the Central Continent. In the next second, Guchanga grinned wickedly and thought to himself, "Looks like it's time to change locations. Maybe I can even find some fresh leeks there." Guchanga put down his teacup and arranged, "Let's set off in about 3 months." Su Qingga happily replied, "Yes, young master." Then Su Qingga went out of the room and gently closed the door. Guchanga suddenly realized, if it wasn't for mistaking Old Ming as an ascended cultivator from the Central Continent, just then, Old Ming appeared with a black light. Old Ming bowed his head and saluted, then replied, "Reporting to young master, this old servant ascended from the Qing heaven realm of the Central Continent 30,000 years ago. When I first entered the upper realm, my strength was still weak, and I was controlled by the first 10,000 Taoist sect to work as a servant. Fortunately, the clan elder stood up to rescue me from the sea of suffering. Otherwise, this old servant would have died there long ago." Guchanga said, It just so happens that I'm going to the central continent in 3 months. You can conveniently go back to visit your clan. Old Ming couldn't help but be overjoyed and replied, "Thank you, young master, for your consideration." Guchanga picked up his teacup and drank, saying, "Old Ming, you don't need to be so polite. It's just along the way." Then he thought to himself, this kind of small matter not only makes Old Ming wholeheartedly work for me, but also elevates my image. Why wouldn't I do such a good thing? 3 months later, Central Continent, Zhongying Heavenly City. A very peaceful scene unfolded. Lin Chuhan was still teaching enthusiastically. Ancient words say, heaven and earth and all things have their own spirituality. Those who guard their vitality are qi. Those who guard their thoughts are spirit. Lin Tian, who was sitting below, had already fallen asleep on the table. Lin Chuhan saw this and silently pondered for a long while. Then she spoke up to remind him, "Lin Tian, you dare to sleep in my class again?" The surrounding students all looked towards Lin Tian and whispered, "Cultivating in the same place as this good-for-nothing Lin Tian is really too embarrassing. If it weren't for him being from the ancient Lin family and his older sister being an elder in the academy, how could he be studying here with us?" Yeah, Elder Lin Chuhan is really unlucky to have such a younger brother. Then Lin Chuhan closed her eyes and shouted loudly, "Lin Tian, are you listening to me?" Lin Tian, who was lying on the table, mumbled, "This king." In the next second, Lin Tian suddenly sat up, drenched in sweat, and shouted loudly, "This king is unwilling." Everyone in the classroom looked at Lin Tian. Then someone laughed and teased, "This king. Haha, you're killing me. What kind of nonsense dream is this idiot having?" Lin Tian frowned and asked in confusion, "Who are you guys? Where is this?" Someone replied, "Hey, you little trash. Did you sleep your brains out? Let me tell you, this is the heavenly realm, Central Continent, Zhongying Heavenly City." Lin Tian, hearing this, stammered in disbelief, "Zhongying Heavenly City, Heavenly City." Then Lin Tian looked at his palm, pondering, So that's it. Heaven hasn't forsaken me. A wisp of divine soul like me finally found a suitable body. Right then, Lin Chuhan slammed the book on the table and yelled, "Enough." Lin Chuhan frowned, crossed her arms looking furious, and shouted, "How much longer are you going to mess around? If you can't break through to the Qi realm this month, get out of the academy. Your family won't be able to protect you then." Lin Chuhan continued to roar, "Is that how you treat your deceased parents? Is that how you treat the family that painstakingly nurtured you?" Everyone in the classroom watched Lin Tian and snickered. Lin Tian's whole body started trembling. He slowly stood up, bursting into laughter, and thought to himself, "Just the Qi realm. What's so hard about that?" Right after, Lin Tian spread his arms and yelled, "In less than half a month, I'll break through. Those who look down on me, Lin Tian, I will trample you under my feet." Suddenly, everyone looked outside, stunned by something. Someone stuttered, This is... It turned out the sky had turned dark, and fierce bolts of lightning appeared as a ship was sailing straight ahead. At the same time, Guchanga, who was cultivating, received a notification, "New child of destiny detected." Guchanga smirked, "Here he comes." In a room, someone asked, puzzled, "What's going on?" Everyone went to the Great Elder, asking, "Great Elder, why have you gathered us here?" He hesitated. "Today, I sensed the aura of our ancestor." Everyone was so shocked they gaped, exclaiming, "Wow, what?" Ancestral immortal Lin Ming, who ascended 3,000 years ago. Immediately, the Great Elder thumped his cane on the ground, slowly stood up, and said haltingly, "The ancestral immortal is returning. Our Lin family has hope." At the same moment, a ship in the sky was speeding forward. A voice echoed, "System, how much luck does each have left?" The system notification sounded, 2003. Guchanga, standing on the ship, closed his eyes and mused. "Speaking of luck feedback, actually, the difference between my luck and the luck of these children of destiny is too vast, so it exists." A notification popped up, "That's right. As the host's luck increases, the luck feedback will gradually disappear." Guchanga pondered, "Looks like the variable is me. Even Heavenly Tao can hardly protect these children of destiny." A screen displayed Guchanga's personal information. He thought to himself, what does this black luck even represent? Could it just be my villainous role? He looked ahead, contemplating whatever. The current plot development is still within my control. Guchanga thought again. New leaks have sprouted. Got to work hard to squeeze them dry. The next second, Su Chinga rushed over. Seeing her, he also walked towards her. Su Chinga happily said, "You seem to be in a good mood today, young master." Guchanga saw her luck was 400 and thought, when did this little lass's luck rise to 400? No wonder my luck has been stagnant, not decreasing. Turns out it's being affected by her luck. With that thought, he wrapped his arm around Su Chinga's waist. Guchanga smiled, with a beauty by my side, how could I be in a bad mood? She blushed shyly. He thought to himself, looks like she still has some secrets I don't know about. Then Su Chinga raised a finger and asked, have we arrived in the central continent? Tell me a bit about the powers here. Guchanga replied, the central continent has 8 major cities, with Central Heavenly City being the most prosperous. This time, the third prince of the Great Xia dynasty is hosting a Dao discussion, which is also. Before he could finish, Chu Han stepped forward and interjected, why would young master even bother with such mediocre gatherings? Chu Han continued, young master can just treat it as a joke. Su Chinga agreed, that's right. Guchanga silently thought, discussing the Dao with a bunch of lower realm kids. I couldn't care less about this kind of boring stuff. On the other side, crowds of people bustled about. A voice exclaimed, have you heard? The Lin family's ancestral immortal has returned to the lower realm. You mean the powerhouse from the Lin family who ascended 30,000 years ago? A group gathered, discussing, the upper realm has been closed for thousands of years. Isn't this fake? It's real. I heard the Lin family elder personally convened the sect meeting. Yichen, sitting nearby, overheard and thought, powerhouse from the upper realm, ancient Lin family. If I didn't have more important matters right now, this would be a good place to seek refuge. Then Yichen pulled out a piece of paper, zoning out like, okay, ancient clans are seriously loaded and thriving. Now I'm sitting on a mountain of secrets, plus my Shifu's orders. Got to find those ruins pronto. A second later, his brow furrowed, looking all kinds of pissed. Guchanga, he grumbled to himself. We ain't done yet, pal. Meanwhile, a whole crowd was buzzing outside this one house. Someone was like, wait, is that the ancestor? Guchanga and Su Chinga were chilling inside, and everyone was whispering. But who's that white-robed dude sitting in the head seat? Looks like the ancestor is seriously bowing and scraping to him. Guchanga, eyes still closed, finally spoke up, Minglao barely gets to come home. You guys just chat. Don't mind me. Minglao immediately bowed lower, replying, young master, you wound me with your words, but no way can I just ignore you. Su Chinga was thinking, damn, didn't realize Minglao by Guchanga's side was such a powerhouse. Chu Han, watching this, thought, no kidding. That's Guchanga for you. The Lin family head was so shocked his jaw dropped. Did my ears deceive me? He wondered, totally freaking out inside. The ancestor is calling himself old servant to this young fella. Everyone else was just as stunned, murmuring. Then Guchanga casually said, hand on his knee, if Minglao can't ditch me, then Chinga and I will just take a stroll. Without missing a beat, he grabbed Su Chinga's hand and dipped, leaving her totally flustered. The Lin family head bowed even deeper, respectful farewell. A second later, Guchanga and Su Chinga strolled out. The Lin family had hurried over, my lord. Then he spun around and barked, Chu Han, you know this place like the back of your hand? Get your butt over here and show our guests the way. Lin Chu Han, hearing this, dashed over, flustered. Yes, father. She rushed to Guchanga, stammering, my lord, my lady Lin Chu Han greets you. Guchanga glanced at her, thinking, Lin Chu Han, huh? Nice name. Suddenly, a stat screen popped up above Lin Chu Han's head, fortune value 200. She replied, thank you for your praise, my lord. Guchanga asked, then would you be kind enough to show Chinga and me around, Miss Lin? She nodded quickly, it would be my pleasure. At the same time, Lin Tian clutched his chest, frowning. What the heck, he thought, clutching his chest. Why is my heart suddenly aching like this? Lin Tian pondered. Is this the damned lingering attachment of this body to his sister? He grimaced. I'm a divine king for crying out loud. How can I be bothered by such mortal crap? Suddenly, Lin Tian's eyes snapped wide open, realizing something. Wait a sec, that girl. He stared at Su Qingge, mind racing. Nanyang's sacred body. Isn't that the perfect physique refining furnace I needed back then? Lin Tian smirked, a nasty grin spreading across his face. Lin Chuhan, looks like your heart problem is about to get conveniently cured by yours truly. Didn't expect this young master everyone's talking about to have such good taste. He glanced back at Gu Changge, thinking, such a treasure body wasted on him. Gu Changge subtly glanced back at Lin Tian, thinking, was just planning to head out and snag a newly spawned child of destiny. And guess what? One just delivered himself to my doorstep. Fortune value 500. But I haven't even messed with this kid yet. Why do I sense hostility from him? Then Gu Changge's gaze flicked to Lin Chuhan. Oh, because of her, huh? He smiled, amused. Well, works for me. Lin Tian was still grinning like a villain. While Gu Changge thought, hope you stick around a bit longer. The trio, Su Qingge, Gu Changge, and Lin Chuhan, started strolling through the grounds. Gu Changge casually asked, oh, the trash younger brother. Why call him that? Lin Chuhan replied, it's common knowledge, really. He just doesn't have any cultivation talent, and his background isn't great either. I can sympathize, but yeah, nothing to be done. Gu Changge closed his eyes slightly. Poor kid, he murmured. But hey, at least he's got a beautiful, caring older sister looking out for him. Lucky him in a way. Lin Chuhan quickly corrected, no, nah. Actually, Xiao Tian is pretty understanding, and he's been focusing on cultivation lately. Gu Changge heard this and was like, oh, just recently started focusing on cultivation. Then he thought to himself, this useless young master's personality did a 180 overnight body possession by a powerhouse or maybe even rebirth. She frowned and replied, yeah, his cultivation that was stuck before, it broke through. Plus, he's also shown some serious talent in making pills and formations, and even pointed out a mistake of an elder once. Gu Changge was like, his change means your advice actually worked. He gets it. He finally understands how you feel as his big sis. Even though you were strict with him before, you were just looking out for him, right? Lin Chuhan thought to herself, wait, is young master comforting me? Then she thought, didn't expect young master to get me so well. Even Xiao Tian usually doesn't understand me and thinks I'm too harsh on him. Gu Changge then said, Lin Tian changing for the better is definitely a good thing. He was probably just a hidden gem before. After all, pointing out an elder's mistake in just a few days. That's some talent. Lin Chuhan immediately replied, Xiao Tian, a hidden gem? No way. Plus, his talent used to be so bad he couldn't even break through to the qi refining realm. Gu Changge started firing questions. Couldn't even break through to the qi refining realm? Seriously, then how does he even do alchemy? Could it be your Lin family has some secret ancient techniques for him? These questions hit Lin Chuhan like a lightning bolt. Her eyes widened, and she stammered. Gu Changge glanced away, secretly pleased, and thought, looks like Lin Chuhan is already suspicious about Lin Tian's change. Harvesting luck from this child of destiny is easier than I thought. A system notification popped up. Child of Destiny's luck rule reset to 0. Killing a child of destiny with 0 luck gets you extra heavenly Dao rewards. Gu Changge saw this and thought, heavenly Dao rewards. Then Gu Changge thought, that's kind of interesting. Yichin, my temporary treasure-seeking guinea pig. Can't touch him yet. Looks like I got to harvest Lin Tian first. Night slowly fell. A voice came from a room. Young master, Chuhan made some spirit cakes herself. Thought you might get hungry later, so you can have a snack. Su Qingge opened the door and happily replied, Miss Lin, you're too kind. Coming all the way here to bring food in person at night. Qingge thanks you on young master's behalf. Lin Chuhan heard this and thought to herself, Gu Changge. Su Qingge then took the food from her. Then Chuhan bowed to Su Qingge and said, then please trouble Saintess Qingge. I won't bother young master anymore. Su Qingge watched Lin Chuhan leave and thought to herself, just met once and Miss Lin is already missing him. Young master, you're something else. The next second, Gu Chang'e came out, hugged Su Qing'e from behind, and asked, "What's up, jealous?" She blushed instantly. Su Qing'e looked down, seeming sad. She closed her eyes and replied, "Young master, you're too deep. Qing'e can't figure out what you like. Whether I'm jealous or not, it doesn't matter." Then Su Qing'e went inside and continued, "If you're into her, young master, just keep Miss Lin around." Gu Chang'e turned to look at her. He closed his eyes and wondered, when did this girl get so contrary? Meanwhile, Lin Chuhan was heading back to her room. Suddenly, a voice called out "Sis," making her eyes widen. It was Lin Tian. Lin Chuhan asked in surprise, "Xiao Tian, what are you doing here?" Lin Tian rested his hand on his chin and asked, "So late, sis, where are you headed? Don't tell me you're going to see Gu Chang'e." Hearing this, she frowned and stayed silent. Then she brushed past Lin Tian and replied angrily, "My business is none of your concern. Focus on your own cultivation." And suddenly, Lin Tian grabbed Lin Chuhan's hand, spun her around, and yelled, "Lin Chuhan, that Gu dude is bad news. Don't be fooled by his looks." She was taken aback. Right after, Lin Chuhan snapped at Lin Tian, "What nonsense are you spouting? Young master is humble, polite, and gentle as jade. How could he be bad? And you, when you're even a fraction as good as him, then I'll be relieved." Lin Tian frowned and shouted even louder, "How can you be so dumb? Can't you see it?" Lin Chuhan, now furious, retorted, "You've been acting weird lately. Even if Gu Chang'e isn't a good guy, with his status, what could he possibly want from me?" Chuhan turned to leave and said, "You should really take a good look at yourself." Lin Tian watched her leave and stammered, "Sis." As Lin Chuhan walked away, she pondered, this kid Lin Tian, the stronger his cultivation gets, the more arrogant he becomes. She walked forward thinking, shoot, I forgot to ask, how did he learn alchemy? Lin Chuhan started getting suspicious about Lin Tian and thought to herself, he couldn't cultivate before, and now he's vanished for days. Could it be some big shot is giving him pointers? Then Chuhan frowned and thought, or maybe. Lin Chuhan paused and stood there pondering for a while. The system notification popped up. Lin Chuhan has become suspicious of Lin Tian's changes. Lin Tian's child points have decreased by 50 points. Host's destiny value has increased by 250 points. Upon seeing this, Gu Chang'e went to the window and looked out. Then Chang'e smiled, satisfied, and thought to himself, as expected, things are going according to plan. Lin Tian probably won't be able to bounce back from this. He's thinking of messing with me. Meanwhile, back in the forest, Lin Tian was sitting there saying, I was originally going to wait for the right moment to get close to that Su Qing'e chick, then deal with you. But you Gu, you bastard. You just got to stick your nose in my business with Lin Chuhan. Lin Tian was now drenched in sweat. He frowned and continued, You walking obsession. You've disturbed this king's spirit. If you want to die, this king will grant you that wish. Then Lin Tian slammed both hands on the ground, creating an eerie red glow, and chanted, using 99 bewildering door incense brewed from the blood essence of 8 venomous beasts, mixed with the marrow of 3 fierce beasts, and fueled by 15 years of my own lifespan, I borrow the might of heaven and earth to snatch your life and obliterate your mortal soul. Instantly, the red light enveloped the surrounding space. And Lin Tian shouted, Outer territory, heavenly demon curse invocation. He planted his hands on the ground, causing a massive explosion that sent everything around flying. Then a blindingly bright streak of red light shot into the sky. The red beam streaked high into the sky and blasted straight forward. Then Lin Tian slumped down against a tree, drenched in sweat, and said, Casting a curse at this power level is still pushing it for me, huh? But with the boost from my 15 years of life, even if you, Gu Chang'e, are lucky enough to make it out alive, you're definitely heading for a terrible fate. Lin Tian frowned, then flashed an evil grin and continued, Dare to try and snatch what's mine, Liuan Shenwang. This is what you get. A red streak blazed across the sky, blindingly bright with red. A monster was charging straight ahead. It looked terrifying. At the same time, Gu Chang'e was still sitting, eyes closed, focusing on his cultivation. Gu Chang'e mused, just like I figured. Such a familiar demonic aura. Unexpectedly, it's an outer territory heavenly demon curse, huh? The next moment, his eyes suddenly lit up. Then he thought to himself, with your current cultivation, how much power can you even muster? Instantly, a whirlwind of pink light erupted violently. A foot began to form, looking absolutely massive, and a purple-lit hand also appeared. Then a pink light-clad giant was sitting on the roof, utterly terrifying. Gu Chang'e's eyes burned even brighter. He grinned evilly and said, "Demonic tricks right in front of me. Talk about showing off axe-wielding skills to a master craftsman." Meanwhile, a red streak was charging straight towards the giant at breakneck speed. Within the red streak was a monster with eyes blazing fiercely, utterly gruesome. The monster was still furiously charging towards the giant. Then the giant reached out his hand. The giant was now clutching a sphere of red light in a crushing grip. The sphere started to crack and flared red. The giant followed through with another strike, unleashing a blast that sent everything around flying again. Lin Tian's eyes began to turn bloodshot. He frowned again, looking utterly frustrated and pissed. The surrounding space was slowly enveloped by red light. The Lin family head saw this and instantly looked worried, exclaiming in shock. Old Ming frowned and said worriedly, "Young master." Everyone around saw that and immediately yelled, "Whoa, this aura is coming from the Lin family's direction. Is that their ancestor?" In a small hut deep within a really gloomy forest, Lin Tian was sprawled on the ground in a pool of blood. Lin Tian frowned, struggling to hold himself together. He stammered, no way. I actually suffered a backlash." The purple lights in the sky slowly faded away, but then a golden light flashed, sparkling and dazzlingly bright. Gu Chang'e looked down, thinking to himself, Didn't expect this curse to actually boost my primordial spirit quite a bit. Gu Chang'e picked up a pill enveloped in golden light and thought to himself, still got a life essence pill left? The system notification chimed. Lin Tian's lifespan plummeted. Luck damaged by 150 points. Host's destiny points increased by 750 points. Right after, Gu Chang'e popped the pill into his mouth, thinking, I haven't even done anything yet, and you're already giving me such a big gift. He stood up, thinking to himself, yeah, making him totally useless while he's still kicking is kind of tough. Guess that's the only way to make sure he gets a good death. Suddenly, Ming Lao's voice came from outside the room. My lord, this old servant failed to protect you properly. Please punish me. Hearing that, Gu Chang'e immediately opened the door and saw Ming Lao and a bunch of Lin family folks kneeling on the ground. He asked, totally confused, what's going on? Everyone yelled back, we weren't watching closely enough. Please forgive us, my lord. Su Qingge, looking worried, asked, my lord, are you okay? Gu Chang'e replied casually, I'm fine. A curse at this level, please. It couldn't even scratch me. Gu Chang'e went on, but I'm curious to know who could pull off these kinds of tricks in the mortal realm. Ming Lao responded, since the curse was broken so completely, the caster must have suffered a backlash. The Lin family head, who was standing beside him, frowned and exclaimed, yes, I will gather all resources to investigate. I'm sure we can find the culprit and give my lord an explanation. With that, everyone bowed respectfully to Gu Chang'e. Seeing this, he smirked in satisfaction, thinking to himself, Lin Tian. Oh, Lin Tian, I bet you're not even as strong as a regular dude now. Meanwhile, Lin Chuhan was banging on the door like crazy, yelling, Xiao Tian, big trouble tonight. The family head is summoning everyone. Let's go. Lin Tian was kneeling on the ground, constantly coughing up blood. He thought anxiously, crap. What do I do? My core is so messed up. I can barely even stand. Lin Tian frowned, gritting his teeth, thinking, if anyone sees me like this, they'll know it's because I tried something on that Gu dude. Then Lin Tian slammed a fist into the ground and thought, no way. Could it be that I, the mighty sixth celestial divine king, am reduced to this pathetic state? Meanwhile, Lin Chuhan outside was still pounding on the door, yelling, "Xiaotian, open the door now or I'm kicking it in." Hearing that, Lin Tian's eyes widened. He muttered, "Right, I can play dead." Then he thought to himself, "Thing is, I already took over Lin Tian's body. If the heart meridian is severed, there's no way he'd survive. And those cultivators under a divine king, they definitely won't see through it." Lin Tian raised his hand, a sinister smile creeping onto his face. He thought to himself, "If I can just ride this out, I can revive using a soul's secret art. Then I can slip away without anyone noticing, just like a ghost." Lin Tian slowly raised his hand, gazing at it with bloodshot eyes, and thought, "Gu Chang'e, we will settle this score later." Thinking that, he immediately struck himself with a palm, injuring himself and causing a pool of blood to erupt from his body. Lin Tian continued to spew blood and collapsed backward. Then Lin Chuhan burst through the door, only to find Lin Tian lying motionless on the ground. Seeing this, she was so shocked her eyes went wide, and she screamed his name, "Xiaotian." The sky that day was unbelievably clear and beautiful. Old Ming bowed his head low and said, "Young master, this old servant has failed in his duty of supervision. I beg master to punish me." Gu Chang'e listened to this, then propped his chin on his hand and asked, "You found him?" Old Ming frowned and replied, "Reporting to you, young master. We have found him." But everyone around lowered their heads, looking so worried they were sweating. Lin Chuhan stood timidly, appearing very scared. Then Gu Chang'e asked in surprise, "What is it?" The Lin family head frowned and replied, It's a kid named Lin Tian from our clan. Normally, he's just a minor figure who isn't taken seriously." Moments later, the Lin family head raised his head and exclaimed loudly, But when we found him, his heart meridian had stopped. No breath left in a pool of blood." Gu Chang'e, upon hearing this, asked with a serious expression, "Dead?" The Lin family head knelt on the ground and cried out, "This lowly one failed in my duty of supervision. I beg you, Great One, to punish me." Everyone knelt and bowed their heads to the ground. Then everyone shouted in unison, "Lin Tian attempted to harm young master. This is truly a disgrace to our entire clan. We beg you, Great One, to punish us." Gu Chang'e, upon hearing this, rested his hand on his chin and pondered, "For better or worse, he's a child of destiny. He hasn't even killed his nemesis like me, and he's already scared enough to commit suicide for his crime. What a loser." Next, a screen appeared with a list of children of destiny. Gu Chang'e thought about the system again. There's no notification or remains showing Lin Tian's name. He's definitely still alive. Could he be faking his death? He scratched his face and thought to himself, but relying on a damaged remnant soul after leaving the body, it wouldn't even be able to withstand a gentle breeze outside. So where could it possibly run to? Gu Chang'e remained silent at this moment, not saying anything, causing the Lin family head to feel very anxious. The Lin family members were still kneeling on the ground and whispering, "This damned Lin Tian. He failed to accomplish anything, but he has more than enough to ruin his life. No need for that. If the Great One blames us, then we, the entire Lin family, will suffer." Lin Chuhan looked very sad and thought to herself, "I thought Xiaotian had changed his ways. Why would he do such a wicked thing that the entire clan can't forgive?" The Lin family head lowered his head to the ground and pondered, "Lin Tian. Oh, Lin Tian, do you want to destroy our entire Lin family?" The scene in the room became quieter and more tense than ever. The soul flew out from Su Chinga's body and whispered, "Is this the vibe of authority?" Clearly, Gu Chang'e hasn't even done anything yet, but everyone in the Lin family is already panicking and terrified, and complaints about Lin Tian are rising everywhere. A system notification sounded. Lin Tian is ostracized by the entire clan. Fortune points lost 100. Protagonist's heavenly destiny increased by 500 points. Gu Chang'e, seeing this, widened his eyes and thought, "Wow, just one move from Lin Tian, and I got so many heavenly destiny points." A second later, he smiled contentedly and thought to himself, "But it's good too. He doesn't have much left now. He'll probably end up tied to Lin Chuhan in the end." Old Ming bowed his head and said, I beg master to punish me. This old servant, Lin Tian being my descendant, actually did such a disrespectful thing. This old servant truly has no face to face young master. Right after, Gu Chang'e raised his hand and replied, this matter is indeed a bit strange. Chang'e continued to talk about Lin Tian. I heard Miss Lin Chuhan mention it briefly, so I think a talented young man like him wouldn't be capable of killing me. For a long time now, I've seen many cases of using secret techniques to seize people's souls and manipulate other people's bodies. It's nothing new. Although this matter originated from Lin Tian, I think it's probably not related to your Lin family. Gu Chang'e closed his eyes and said, You're not blind to right and wrong, young master. Let's let this go for old Ming's sake, who's been with me for so long. Everyone, hearing this, broke into bright smiles and said, Thank you for your generosity, great one. You are truly understanding and reasonable and understand the greater good. And old Ming happily replied, Thank you, young master. I will definitely investigate this matter thoroughly and give young master a clear explanation. Gu Chang'e then stood up and said, if that's the case, you may all leave. Don't cremate Lin Tian's body for now. Everyone, hearing this, bowed their heads in greeting and respectfully replied, Yes, great one. Then Gu Chang'e thought to himself, After all, I haven't fully harvested this leek yet. I still have to wait for him to revive. And so everyone turned around and left. Suddenly, Gu Chang'e called out, Miss Chuhan. Chang'e stepped forward and asked, I've been quite free lately. How about you take me to the inner city for a stroll in the next few days, Miss Lin? Chuhan, hearing this, lowered her head and replied, Yes, if young master wishes to. Chuhan definitely won't say no. Gu Chang'e glanced at her, mulling it over. The system had hinted before, women related to the Son of Destiny, if they submit to you, you snag destiny points and luck points. Over 200 points just like that. Just got to use a little charm to make Lin Chuhan fall for me. Shouldn't be too hard, right? Then his eyes drifted towards Su Qingge, deep in thought. Wonder if she's like Su Qingge, secretly boosting her own luck, he pondered. And in turn, buffing mine, or maybe, this is just her unique perk. Right after, Gu Chang'e and Su Qingge dipped out, leaving Lin Chuhan bowing respectfully. He figured, got to keep Lin Chuhan around for a bit longer, see what's what. 3 days later, blue skies and sunshine. A real banger of a day. Dudes were zooming through the sky left and right, and flying ships were tearing through the air. Everyone was buzzing like, what in the world is going on lately? Why are all the big shots from the 8 domains flocking to the central continent? Yo, you hear about this? Lin family's ancestor is back, bringing some mysterious big shot with him. Heard he's from some immortal great sect in the upper realm. Anyone even remotely connected to him is going to be set like a carp leaping over the dragon gate, looking down on the 8 domains. Then everyone huddled closer, and get this, the location for the young generation's Dao discussion meetup in the central continent got moved to Lin family's Zhengying ancient city. No joke, even those reclusive ancient god clan powerhouses from the upper ancient divine mountains are showing up. Seems like they're all here to get a glimpse of that big shot. Wisps of white clouds curled around a tall building. People were chatting, all smiles. Long time no see. Brother Jinyang's cultivation is seriously off the charts. Nah, I heard Brother Zhang Tian recently mastered some divine power secret technique. Zhang Tian bowed slightly, just got lucky. Nothing compared to you guys. Holding something in his hand, he continued, Brother Jinyang, heard you sparred with some hotshot from the eastern wilderness not long ago. Won 100 rounds, and it was a draw. Ended up becoming sworn brothers. Jinyang puffed out his chest, totally. Let me tell you, that little bro's talent is like once in a millennium. Using mid-stage divine ability realm cultivation, he went toe-to-toe with me for hundreds of rounds non-stop. Even forced me to use my great sun true body to barely suppress him. Baiyu, listening in, asked, puzzled, there's such a prodigy out there? All the girls nearby turned to look at him, intrigued. Jinong frowned, slowly lifting a steaming cup of tea, then sighed, my little bro, calm and collected, extraordinary talent. You can tell at a glance he's destined for great things. It's a pity, though. He offended some bigwig. Had no choice but to ditch his hometown and come to the central continent. Baiyu chimed in, the person you're talking about? Could it be that guy everyone's gossiping about? Heard he was a toad trying to eat swan meat. Got jealous of some big shot. Jinyong slammed his hand on the table, face flushed with anger. It's obvious that woman wanted to be a phoenix, so she dumped my bro. And now she's spreading rumors everywhere. The girls started whispering amongst themselves, no way. Jinyong is so straightforward and honest, he wouldn't lie. Right. Zhang Tian, curious, asked, who is this person brother Jinyong is talking about? Maybe we can get to know him sometime. The girl next to him piped up, yeah, that's right. Jinyong frowned, hesitating, well, about that. Suddenly, the girl turned her head, spotting something, and exclaimed, look, everyone. It's someone else chimed in, didn't expect him to be personally greeted by a great power elder of the Lin family. Lin Chuhan, Gu Changge, and Su Qingge were slowly approaching. Someone recognized them, asking, that's Lin family's heaven's proud daughter, Lin Chuhan. Heard she's already an elder at Dao Lecture Academy at such a young age. Then someone noticed Su Qingge, whispering, also, that lady in the azure dress with that otherworldly vibe. Isn't she the Taishang holy maiden from the eastern wilderness holy land? Zhang Tian was so shocked he broke out in a cold sweat. If that's the case, then that white-robed guy could he be? Everyone looked towards Gu Changge, gasping, that big shot. Everyone's eyes were glued to him, filled with admiration, murmuring in awe, jaws practically on the floor. Baiyu jumped up, shouting, to think we'd actually meet that big shot here? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Got to go pay our respects. Jinyong, on the other hand, started sweating, his brow furrowed, internally freaking out, crap. Didn't expect to run into him here. Lin Chuhan, Gu Changge, and Su Qingge stood together on the tall building. Su Qingge looked down excitedly, saying, wow, the view down there is so vast and magnificent. Gu Changge casually added, high-angle view from the roof below. Only my hands can grasp the 9 heavens. Changge continued, the person who built this pavilion knows how to enjoy life. Lin Chuhan, standing beside him, echoed, only my hands can grasp the 9 heavens. A beat later, she opened her eyes wide, full of curiosity, and asked, young master, sir, what exactly is cultivation? Gu Changge closed his eyes and explained, so-called cultivation is just a struggle within this world. See your body as a raft drifting in the vast mortal realm amid surging waves while your mind is on the shore. Su Qingge then repeated his words, see your body as a raft drifting in the vast mortal realm. Lin Chuhan said, young master's explanation is indeed different from ordinary people. Incredibly profound. Just those few words are like a refreshing sound to the ears. Thinking about the cultivation world of the upper realm, it must be a mysterious place that Chuhan can hardly imagine. Gu Changge turned to ask, wanna go? Chuhan hesitated and replied, young master. Then she lowered her head and said, Chuhan wouldn't dare. I know that Lin Tian did something unforgivable to young master. Lin Chuhan closed her eyes and continued, clearly, young master had warned me that day. Changge comforted her, no need to blame yourself. I was just speaking casually that day and didn't expect things to develop like this. Changge smiled and continued, if Miss Lin feels guilty, then I have something you can do for me. Chuhan replied immediately, young master, please tell me. He said, I want you to pay attention to your younger brother's corpse. Judging from his expression, it's probably not just simple soul control. Gu Changge glanced at her and continued, I fear his body might have also been taken over by some mysterious existence. After all, there are many secret techniques in this world. Resurrection after death isn't impossible. Chuhan, hearing this, asked in doubt, resurrection after death? This secret technique exists? When I found Lin Tian, his heart meridian was clearly severely damaged with absolutely no chance of survival. Having said that, she frowned and thought to herself, if it's like young master said, could Lin Tian have faked his death? Immediately after, Gu Changge closed his eyes and said, I'm just guessing. Miss Lin just needs to pay a little attention. Having said that, Chang'e glanced at Lin Chuhan and pondered, if Lin Chuhan witnesses Lin Tian's resurrection with her own eyes, then any lingering connection between her and Lin Tian will be severed. By the time she is completely bound, Lin Tian's luck will only last a few more days. A moment later, he frowned, then revealed a sinister smile, and thought, there's no need to keep him around anymore. Suddenly, someone approached, bowed respectfully, and announced, "My lord." Several young disciples from across the 8 regions wished to pay their respects. Gu Chang'e seemed surprised to hear this and replied, "Oh, they've arrived already. Let them come up." A moment later, a group of people approached and bowed respectfully. Chuhan shouted, "Chuhan pays respects to young master." The others behind him said in unison, "We pay respects to my lord." Gu Chang'e, seated on his chair, replied, "No need for so much formality." Everyone, by you, looked at him with eyes full of admiration and shouted loudly, "This humble one, by you, holy son, Gao, has long heard of my lord's name. Meeting you today, you're indeed as transcendent and extraordinary as the rumors say." Someone else shouted, "For young master to grace the lands of the central continent with your presence, we are truly honored." Lin Chuhan, seeing this, thought to herself, these arrogant geniuses who are usually so boastful actually have such a sycophantic side. Immediately after, Chuhan looked towards the girls and pondered, even those high and mighty holy daughters from various powers have to shed their status to curry favor with young master. Then Lin Chuhan turned to look at Gu Chang'e and pondered, even being so submissive and flattering might not necessarily move young master's heart. Speaking of which, young master's attitude towards them is completely different from mine. She continued to ponder, he shoulders a great power, extraordinary demeanor, yet so tolerant, understanding of me, gentle and tender. Then Lin Chuhan placed her hand on her chest and thought, young Master Gu is truly very good to me. The system notification sounded. Event triggered. Successfully subdued Lin Chuhan's luck. Host's luck points increased by 200. Heavenly destiny value increased by 1,000 points. Gu Chang'e was also taken aback by this. Then Chang'e smirked in satisfaction. Yep. Didn't disappoint at all. A screen popped up showing Gu Chang'e's personal info. He pondered. Su Qingge and Lin Chuhan both got over 300 points of luck boost.
Huh.
My cultivation level is already maxed out in this lower realm. Guess I'll save these destiny points for a rainy day. Gu Chang'e tapped the screen and thought, Lin Chuhan. She's worth grooming, giving me snacks as a peace offering. She's got some goodwill points. A notification popped up about a booster item. Beginner Pill Refining Guide. 100 destiny points. Chang'e mused, got to find a chance to give her this beginner pill guide. How far she gets depends on her talent. Then, the next second, another notification. Checking on the Son of Luck relationships. Initiating random quest. Quest objective. Suppress the Son of Luck's sworn brother. Quest reward. 500 destiny points. Failure penalty none. Chang'e thought. Lin Tian's random quest got can already. This one's triggered by Yi Chen. Is it then? Gu Chang'e closed his eyes and used a secret technique. Chang'e slowly opened his eyes, pondering. Being a son of luck makes sense. He can survive in the cracks between major powers like Tianao. He glanced at the crowd, thinking, if it's a random quest, seems like the targets in this bunch. The next second, Gu Chang'e hesitated before calling out, Chuhan? The guy bowed his head, asking, My lord, what are your orders? Gu Chang'e inquired, any news about Yi Chen in Central Continent? Chuhan scratched his head, stammering, Yi Chen, young master? Su Qingge, standing nearby, also frowned and looked ahead. Gu Chang'e pressed, meaning no news. Chuhan was sweating buckets, head lowered, stammering. A girl scratched her face, puzzled. Who's Yi Chen? Baiyu replied, judging from my lord's expression, he's totally not vibing with this. Jinyang started frowning, looking scary. Baiyu put a hand on his chin, muttering, Yi Chen. Feels like I've heard that name somewhere. Eastern Wilderness.
Taishan Godisson.
Suddenly, Baiyu seemed to recall something, glancing sideways at Jinyang. Jinyang, hearing this, started sweating heavily, looking utterly confused. Immediately, Baiyu pointed at Jinyang, yelling, "My lord, heard that Jinyang, holy son of Cauldron Holy Land, knows a hero from Eastern Wilderness. Could it be the Yichin you're looking for?" Jinyang's face twisted in worry. "Crap, Baiyu.
Hélisson.
You got to be kidding me." Gu Chang'e still rested his hand on his knee, unfazed. Chang'e then asked, "Oh, don't know which hero Jinyang Holy Son knows. What's their name?" Jinyang clenched his fists, legs slightly apart. Everyone around stared at him, whispering. Jinyang frowned, sweating even more. Gu Chang'e remarked, "Jinyang Holy Son's silence seems to confirm you know the person I'm looking for." Jinyang, still anxious, glanced at Chang'e immediately. Jinyang bowed deeply, replying, "Yes, my lord. Don't know if the person you're seeking." The next second, Gu Chang'e made his move, unleashing a purple beam of light straight at Jinyang. The tall building was instantly enveloped in purple light. Gu Chang'e, radiating terrifying light, softly spoke, "Answer me, yes or no." Everyone around was shocked, sweating profusely, whispering, "Didn't expect this young lord to be this scary. This aura, even in our holy lord's power, haven't felt this from the holy kings." Baiyu frowned, gritting his teeth, worriedly thinking, "Damn it. Showed off too much. If Jinyang gets implicated, won't I be in trouble, too?" Jinyang's legs trembled uncontrollably, stammering, I. Gu Chang'e asked, "Where's he now?" Jinyang's face scrunched up, sweating buckets. He stammered, "Sorry, big sir, but I really can't spill the beans on Brother Yi Chen's whereabouts." Baiyu, hearing this, whipped his head around to Jinyang and roared, "Jinyang, are you out of your mind?" Right after, Baiyu hastily said, Big sir, this Jinyang kid's definitely got his head messed up by that dude. He's usually not this dumb. I swear." Jinyang snapped back, "Shut your trap. Yi Chun is my sworn bro. All right, I know his personality inside out. And you, big sir, isn't there some kind of misunderstanding between you and my bro?" Then Gu Chang'e casually placed his hand on his knee and slowly stood up. Chang'e's eyes suddenly blazed, pink light swirling around him. He drawled, "Being asked by me is your honor. Misunderstanding? What makes you think you're even qualified to question me?" Jinyang retorted. A split second later, blood gushed from his mouth. Jinyang crashed to his knees, the ground cracking under the impact. Jinyang slammed his hands on the ground, roaring, sending everyone scrambling away. Suddenly, someone came running and yelled, "Holy Sun!" It was Jinyang's subordinate who kowtowed, shouting, "Holy Sun, this ignorant fool accidentally offended you. Please forgive him, big sir." Gu Chang'e remained unfazed, totally chill. Then Chang'e called out, "Ming Lao." Instantly, Ming Lao appeared and responded, "At your service, master." Everyone around was jaw-dropped, minds blown. This is the ancestor of the Lin family who ascended like 30,000 years ago. And he's calling himself old servant in front of this big sir. Gu Chang'e casually ordered, "After tomorrow, I don't want to hear any news about the existence of the Cauldron Heaven Holy Land anymore." Pink light enveloped Jinyang completely. Ming Lao bowed his head, replying, "Understood, master." Suddenly, Jinyang's subordinate reached out, desperately pleading, "Senior, wait." Everyone around went pale, scared shitless. Jinyang's subordinate slumped to the ground, muttering, "It's over. We're done for." Jinyang was still gritting his teeth, fighting the pain. Lin Chuhan thought to herself, just a few casual words, and he decides the fate of a whole region. And Lin Chuhan and Su Qingge exchanged glances, both thinking, so cold, aloof, and supreme, like a god holding everything in his grasp. This is his real face. They both sighed inwardly. The system notification chimed. Random mission completed. SSS rank perfect completion. Heavenly destiny value +40. Current heavenly destiny value 700 points. An elder of the Cauldron Heaven Holy Land stammered, "City Lord, this." Everyone from the Cauldron Heaven Holy Land was there, looking anxious and sweating bullets. Someone cried out, "Who in the heavens did Cauldron Heaven Holy Land offend to bring such a catastrophe upon us?" Another yelled, "Is heaven trying to wipe out our Cauldron Heaven Holy Land?" Then a gigantic hand materialized, slamming down towards the Cauldron Heaven Holy Land. The sky turned even darker, and fiery sparks rained down on the Cauldron Heaven Holy Land. In a small house, a voice muttered, "Big bro Jin Yong." It was Yi Chen. He stared at his palm, lips pressed tightly together. A voice sighed, "Damn it. Things still went in the direction I least wanted." Yi Chen gripped 2 jade pieces in his hand, thinking, "I will definitely kill Guchanga." Definitely. The next second, Yan Ji flew out of the ring in a red flash, calling out Yi Chen. He lowered his head, saying, "Shifu, if you're going to tell me to let go of my grudge against Guchanga, save it." Yi Chen's face twisted, clenching his fists, grinding his teeth. He continued, "The ancient heavenly vein secret realm is about to open. I must get the inheritance of the secret realm's master and that long-sealed demonic artifact." Over yonder, the sky was this gorgeous clear blue. Lin Chuhan, Guchanga, and Su Chinga were strolling around the courtyard. He started asking, "Chuhan, ever since we got back from Star Picking Pavilion, you've been awfully quiet." Guchanga reached out and patted Chuhan's head, then asked, "Did I freak you out?" Chuhan's face flushed red. Shyly, she replied, "Oh, a little. Guess I've never seen that side of you before, but I know you treat me well." Su Chinga, standing beside them, pouted and crossed her arms, looking all sulky. Then Guchanga took out a book and said, "My bad. Consider this beginner's guide to Pill Dao, my apology gift to you." Chuhan reached out and took it, replying, "Thank you, young master. This book is exactly what I needed." Su Chinga closed her eyes and spoke up, "Young master, you're playing favorites." But Changa and Chuhan just kept walking, leaving Chinga behind. Changa paid no attention to Chinga and said, "The moon's not bad tonight." Chinga got even angrier and muttered, "You." 3 days later, a group of people bowed their heads in salute and said, "If that big shot doesn't want to, we won't trouble you further. We still have to receive the Lin family head later," saying a few more polite words. The Lin family head immediately replied, No, the Lin family has always wanted to build good connections. Your matter? I will definitely remember." And Lin Chuhan thought to herself, "Young master is cold to everyone else. But on the other hand, he also gives face to the Lin family." Guchanga's face flashed in Chuhan's mind. She lowered her head and pondered, recalling how young master treated those who went against him. Then Lin Tian must be like what young master said, not been Lin Tian for a while now. Otherwise, after such a big incident, why would young master be so lenient with the Lin family? Poor little Xiaotian. Meanwhile, Lin Tian was still lying motionless on the floor. Suddenly, his hand moved slowly. Then, Lin Tian sat up abruptly. A man standing in the jail cell saw Lin Tian suddenly sit up, causing him to scream, "Zombie! Zombie!" Immediately after, the man raced towards Lin Chuhan and yelled, "Miss Lin Chuhan." Hearing this, she scolded, "So noisy. What's with the racket? Get back." At the same time, Lin Tian raised his hand and looked at it. He looked down and thought to himself, "My body's still intact. Looks like I survived a tribulation after all." Lin Tian frowned and showed a wicked smile. Then he thought to himself, "Next, I just need to pretend to have lost my memory. Fooling those guys shouldn't be too hard. That gu, this debt, this king will settle with you bit by bit." The next second, Lin Tian looked up and saw something that made him freeze in surprise. It was Guchanga and Lin Chuhan. She was looking at him with a serious gaze. Guchanga still looked very calm, seeing Lin Tian was still alive and kicking as if he knew it all along. At this time, Lin Tian started acting like he was looking around, shouting, "Sis, why am I here? I clearly remember I was in the study hall studying. How did I end up here?" Guchanga thought to himself, "This kid's acting is way too much." Then, Lin Tian stood up and asked, confused, "Who's this guy? Never seen him before." The next second, Lin Chuhan glared at Lin Tian, frowning. Then, she angrily yelled, "Enough. What are you still pretending now?" Lin Tian heard this and frowned and stammered, confused, "Sis, what are you saying? I don't understand." Lin Tian looked around, acting confused, and continued, "What exactly happened? Why am I locked up in a dungeon?" He saw Lin Chuhan was furious. So, he shouted, "Sis, what's wrong with you? I'm your younger brother, Lin Tian. Why don't you believe me?" Lin Chuhan looked at Lin Tian with a look of rage. Then, Lin Tian continued, asking, "Do you still remember when we were little? You got scolded by the family head and ran to me crying. And there was also that time." Before he could even finish, Chu Han started gritting her teeth and yelled, "Shut up." Lin Tian heard this and stammered, confused, Sis. Lin Chu Han's eyes teared up and she angrily yelled, "Don't call me sis. Who the hell are you? What did you do with Xiao Tian?" Lin Tian frowned, glaring. Then he stammered, bewildered, Sis. Right after, Lin Tian clutched his head, looking like he was in a lot of pain, screaming nonstop, "No, it's not me." Lin Tian's eyes widened. He gritted his teeth, realizing, damn lingering will. Didn't expect it to act up now. Lin Chuhan, seeing this, couldn't help but shout worriedly, "Xiao Tian." Lin Tian, still clutching his head, said, "Chuhan, sis, I never thought of hurting you, but why did you team up with Gu Chang'e to harm me?" The next second, Lin Tian yelled, "No, sis. It's all Xiao Tian's fault." Suddenly, another voice burst out from Lin Tian's body, "Shut up. A mere wisp of lingering will. Don't even think about shaking me, the six heavens divine king." Lin Tian's eyes flashed with a red light. He was already kneeling on the ground. Lin Tian raised his head high and screamed, "Sis, kill me, sis." The system notification sounded. Lin Tian encountered the original host's lingering will. Backlash, losing control of the body. Luck value decreased by 200 points. Heavenly destiny points of the host increased by 1,000 points. Currently, the Child of Luck's luck value has run out. Initiating the kill as a warning roll. Lin Chuhan trembled, stepping forward. Chuhan's face flushed red. She covered her mouth, stammering, "Xiao Tian." Lin Chuhan was already teary-eyed. Gu Chang'e, seeing this, placed his hand on her shoulder, glanced at her, and said, "I know you can't do it. You go out first. Leave this evildoer to me." Tears slowly streamed down Chuhan's face. She covered her mouth and looked at Lin Tian with a worried and sad gaze, then ran away, leaving only tears behind. Gu Chang'e watched her leave. Chang'e's eyes lit up and asked, "Lin Chuhan and Lin Tian, truly deep sibling affection. Do you know why she didn't let your body rest in peace?" Lin Tian's eyes widened as if realizing something. He frowned and shouted, You knew I faked my death. You, Gu, who exactly are you? What's your purpose, Gu?" Chang'e smirked sinisterly and asked back, "My purpose? What purpose would I have?" And a pink light slowly appeared, enveloping Chang'e. He asked again, "Didn't you always want to kill me?" Right after, Gu Chang'e's eyes flashed a terrifying red. He said, "Why are you even asking then?" The pink light shone directly into the prison cell. Lin Tian was also bathed in the light. He leaked, "Demonic, who exactly are you? How do you have such methods?" The next second, Gu Chang'e lightly pressed his forehead, causing him immense pain. Lin Tian was soaked in sweat. Chang'e replied, "A dead person doesn't need to know so much." Lin Tian's eyes veins popped out bloodshot, looking terrifying. He stammered, No. The surroundings were engulfed in thick smoke, accompanied by Lin Tian's extremely tragic screams. A moment later, Lin Tian collapsed on the ground. The pink light gradually disappeared. Lin Tian said weakly, "The evil soul of a divine king realm expert." Gu Chang'e's body was enveloped in a purple light. He stretched out his arms and looked up, then said, "The taste is indeed not bad. It strengthened my nascent soul quite a bit." Chang'e looked at his palm and continued, "But this kind of demonic art isn't easy. I definitely can't expose it before I'm completely sure." The system notification sounded. Child of Luck eliminated successfully. Rule triggered. Luck value is decreasing. Calculating. Ding. Congrats, host. You snagged a gift. Heavenly Dao Treasure Box Luck plus 100. Heavenly Destiny Points plus 500 points. First kill treasure box claimed. Luck points exchange function activated. Your luck can be exchanged for Heavenly Destiny Points. Exchange rate is 1 to 10. Gu Chang'e pondered, so that's how it is from ancient times. There's been a way to burn through the heavens to stay alive. This luck exchange function works invisibly, giving me another ace in the hole. Chang'e reached out to the treasure box, thinking, all right, then next. A beam of light shot out from Chang'e. Then another notification popped up. First kill treasure box claimed. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing manhwa stories. See you in the next one.